Hello out to all you lovely people. This is Andre, the Game Idea Guy. Thank you once again for lending me your time and your ear, listening into another 3DS Game Ideas video. And this time I'm talking about an idea I had a long time ago, and that's called Marvel vs. Capcom Classics. And I'm calling it that because even though you're seeing X-Men vs. Street Fighter on the screen at the moment, and this idea encompasses X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, um, and also X-Men Children of the Atom, because all of these games have one thing in common. They have a crossover between Marvel and Capcom characters. X-Men Children of the Atom technically would be the first game in this listing because Akuma was available as a playable character in it as a secret character. And then obviously X-Men versus Street Fighter and Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter are Marvel continuity versus Capcom continuity. So that's why I was going along with this idea. But my first thought would be having X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter as available games to play right off the bat, and you beat both of those at least once with one team or pairing, and X-Men Children of the Atom would open up. Um, I would say put both Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter and X-Men vs. Street Fighter online. Let those have online components, but X-Men Children of the Atom, no, just straight single play against CPU or local play, because that's too many games to have their own multiplayer servers and all that stuff, and that can be a hamper on the game in general, as far as my knowledge goes. So you don't want it to be pulling too many different online components, but put X-Men Children now, X-Men versus Street Fighter online, as well as Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter online. Um, Add a survival mode to X-Men versus Street Fighter because the Sega Saturn version of it, as far as I remember, does not have a survival mode. I think the PlayStation version did, but the PlayStation version was super watered down and did not. It was not as fun to play for Marvel vs. Street Fighter or X-Men vs. Street Fighter. It's just I couldn't get. I didn't like it. Um, but other than that, I'm just looking at both of these were fun games back in the day. They're easily runnable on the handheld. you can easily run these on the 3DS. Hell, put it on the Vita too if you want. But you can easily run these on the 3DS. I mean, they put freaking Super Street Fighter 4 on the 3DS, which people probably wouldn't have thought was possible. But hey, they did it. So I'm quite clear that this can easily be done. Um, but and I would prefer that they take the Sega Saturn versions of the games as the base for it. Either those or the arcade, because not the PlayStation one at all. No, not the PlayStation one. Because it's the Sega Saturn game is near arcade perfect. And the arcade version is definitely superior to the PlayStation version. I'm sorry. Like, if you were one of the PlayStation fans back in the day that was hyping up that you had X-Men vs. Street Fighter, you got robbed, son. I'm sorry. Like, I have the import. Y'all got robbed. I'm sorry, bro. Y'all got robbed. Same with Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter and also with Marvel vs. Capcom. Y'all got robbed through and through, and I'm sorry for y'all guys. I'm real sorry for you. Where Sega got the better versions of those games straight up, no matter what. Um, but that aside, I want to see that happen because I think that a lot of people could probably get into this and they could see like, oh, this is where the series started out. This is how this started. This is how this became a thing. And honestly, that would be great to me. And the only reason that I think Akuma even ended up in X-Men Children of the Atom is because Capcom made the game. And Marvel said, well, it'd be cool. Throw him in there. We can do that. We can go with that. Let's just toss him in there. Like, he can be an additional fighter. We don't care. And the version of Akuma that is in X-Men vs. Not X-Men vs. Street, Marvel Superhero, X-Men Children of the Atom. Gosh, I jumped from place to place and wasn't right for a while. But the version of Akuma that's in X-Men Children of the Atoms is actually the Street Fighter 2 variant because I don't think I think Street Fighter Alpha had come out, but I think both of those games were in development at the same time, and that was the only known version of Akuma at the time that they were working on it. So that's the one they put in there. And then after Alpha Series came out and became popular, they went with the Alpha versions as the characters for X-Men versus Street Fighter and Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter, which was a good call. But in my book, for the Marvel vs. Capcom, like using those models was a good, those versions of the characters was a good idea in my opinion. Um, Outside of everything I just talked about, make it easy to play as Apocalypse in both X-Men vs. Street Fighter and Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, as well as being able to play with Cyber Akuma or Mech Goki, as he's known in Japan, and Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter. And also, even though this character is not known in the U.S., the comedian Nurimaru, he's a Japanese comedian. His character is funny as hell to play with. Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter. I know it's a licensing thing, but I would love if they could go back and get the licensing and use that caricature again in the game. Like, he had some nice moves, though, to be honest. He was good for setting up combos. But I would love them to be able to do that. Like, it was funny, and it was cool at the same time. When you played survival mode through, him and Dan were paired up, and I was like, wow. Just the most oddball team ever. Ever. But he still had a better projectile than Dan did. Um, oh man, that probably hurt Dan Hibiki right to his soul. But I would like to see all of that come together. Like, it's just like basically the way the games came out is like certain things ended up in one version of the game and certain things ended up in another version, and it's kind of like fragmented. They could do this and put all that stuff together in the games as a complete set, and then put the games out and be like, hey, go ahead and chill out and play these for a little bit on your 3DS and have some fighting game fun on there. Like, at least that's what I look at it as. But that's it. Thank you guys very much for listening. Keep your eyes and ears out for more stuff from me. And until the next time, please enjoy your games and peace out.